Hello, Aries, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for February 2023, looking at your recent, past, your current energy, and your immediate future. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and pulled the oracle cards and clarified those. I have the oracle cards I pulled for the overall energy for the reading, and then I have the tarot deck that we'll dive into. This is a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. The last thing that I like to mention is this is a general reading, so please remember that the messages will not resonate fully for everyone. So my advice is to take what does resonate and leave what does not. However, if you felt pulled or guided to this reading, then this very well could just be a reading. All right, Aries, in your recent past, you have pushed through any insecurity with the Queen of Swords in reverse. You were going through something in your recent past that brought up a lot of insecurity, and it kind of made you shut off, I feel like, yourself a little bit to some sort of could be a person, an opportunity, something. It almost made you kind of, because the overall energy for the reading, you have mask and greatness, and we'll go over those in a second. But it almost kind of made you pull back from almost like your authentic, your authentic self, and kind of put on this armor a little bit, an armor of protection because of some sort of something, some sort of, I feel like it was some other actions, someone else's actions that affected yours, or something else, essentially some sort of trigger. In your current energy, you have let your fears dissolve with the Six of Wands. So right now, you are either experiencing a lot of fear or coming out of a time of experiencing a lot of fear, and there's a need to lean on some hope for whatever situation you're talking about to come to some sort of a resolution. I feel like this is about taking specific action towards something. The reason I say that is you have go for it with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It could be something you've been taking action toward for a while. And I feel like, I'm not exactly sure what, the underlying is here. We'll get more information when I dive into tarot, but it just feels like it's a situation that has been slowly progressing, but almost to the extent where it feels like it's not progressing at all. Like it's going so slow. It's kind of like that energy of like when you look back to where you were a year ago and you go, oh my gosh, I've come so far since then. I'm not saying that that's essentially the case. I'm just saying it's that energy. Like you don't realize how far you've come or how much something has progressed until, you really truly start to look back, because in the moment, like almost like when you have a puppy or a child, other people that haven't seen, the puppy or the child for a while are like, oh my gosh, they've gotten so big or they've grown so much. But to you, it doesn't seem like that because you're around it every day. So it doesn't feel like it's progressing as much. The overall energy for the reading, you have mask and greatness. And so the way that I'm reading this is there is this need. It's almost like there's a certain, like a mask you put on, maybe for some people, but then you have the people that you're able to be authentic with. And it's almost like this is talking about, to a certain extent, like your authenticity, taking off your mask or taking off your armor, essentially, like I was saying, is what's going to ultimately get you to this greatness here. But I feel like there's this, like, you feel the need to protect yourself, and maybe you do. I'm not exactly sure, but it's almost like this armor. Like I keep feeling armor. Yeah, like look at this, like this Knight of Swords, or Knight of Pentacles. Like this is I'm being drawn to, is like this armor here that you feel you had to, like it's something like having to protect yourself from something, but it's almost like you have more power in the situation than you think, like getting more on the offense than the defense, I think, is kind of what I'm feeling. Okay, recent past for Aries. Like you don't need to defend yourself. You can start you have more power in this situation than you realize. Recent past for Aries, clarifying, push through any insecurity with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay. Ultimately, this is about you receiving what you deserve. And I feel like you don't feel like you've reached the ultimate goal, maybe. You don't feel like you've gotten there. I feel like there's this need to direct your focus from like the gap. I talk about the gap a lot in my readings. You're here, you want to be here. And instead of, having your focus on the present moment where you're at, there's a focus on the gap, on where you aren't yet, on how much you haven't progressed. When in reality, you're not able to see how much you have progressed. or how much you have gained, or whatever the case is for your personal situation. It's kind of like that saying, like, you don't realize, like, you're living the life you once prayed for, and you're already looking forward to, like, you're already looking ahead to the next thing that you're wanting to attract in your life without, fully appreciating or fully seeing the beauty of what you've already kind of attracted. Because remember, where our focus goes, our reality follows. So if you focus on the gap, you're always going to feel like you have a gap from where you're at now to where you're trying to go. And there's a need to focus more on, like, the little things. And that might be hard to do, because I feel like it's almost like this feeling of, because there's the Ace of Pentacles. There's some sort of opportunity. I almost feel like this Knight of Pentacles is bringing you the opportunity. Slowly but surely, but it is coming your way. Recent past for Aries. In every single, so you have the Queen of Swords, and then this Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to flip these all right side up really quick, because I want to show you something that's kind of popping out to me. Do you see how they're all holding something? And it's different, right? There's a sword, a pentacle, and a wand, and every single one of these cards is holding something. It's almost like what this is telling me is, like, you hold the tools. Like, you hold the tools to be able to get to where you're trying to go. And there's a need to have a little bit more faith in your ability, or in your deservingness, but, like, ability. Like, I feel like it's ability. And it's almost like, instead of feeling like needing to protect yourself, because it's almost like you feel as if you don't have these tools. Like, you feel as if you're not holding these tools, and you feel like you don't really know what to do or where to go, or, like, if you're going to get there. And so instead of trying to, and they're all, like, I don't know, like, these two are on a horse. Like, I think, like you have more, like, power. Like, there's a need to realize your power in a situation and understand that you have the tools, and you don't have to protect yourself so much. You can, I don't know, you can use your tools without feeling the need to, like, protect yourself, to defend yourself. Recent past for Aries. Interesting. I'm excited to see how this ties together. Recent past for Aries. So dealing with some insecurity, some fear, I feel like, in your recent past, because, yeah, there's a lot of overthinking. I feel like you're really stuck on the, like, well, how is this situation going to work out? And that's where this armor is coming from, is you're like, I don't know how, so I feel like I have to be ready for every single thing, like every worst case scenario. That's what it is. It's almost like you feel like you have to prepare for every single worst case scenario that could potentially come your way. And that's where, you're focused. So that's just your fear talking, right? Because your focus should be on the possibility, not the how in the world is this ever going to be possible. It's understanding that that's honestly doesn't really need to be your problem. That's having faith in the universe and understanding that solutions will find you in divine time. You don't have to go searching for them. They're going to find you. Recent past for Aries. Because, yeah, you have the tools. Like, you have the tools. You have everything you need. So you don't need to worry about not being capable, or it not being possible, or, yeah, like, you have the tools. Like, I feel like that's ultimately what's coming through here. You have the tools for greatness here, but you need to take off this mask, this armor, this protecting yourself. Look, more tools. Like, here's you have the Page of Swords and this Ace of Swords, like, holding more tools here. Like, you have the tools. And I feel like this is just a matter of really realizing, because I talked about, like right now your focus, again, it's on the, like, how am I going to get there? How is this ever going to be possible? How, like the fact that the end goal feels so far away. That's where the focus is. And it's actually draining your energy, because you're not focused on the excitement of the journey, on the possibility, on the, how you're going to get there. doesn't really matter. It just matters that you're going to get there. And you can believe that because the universe has your back. The universe is guiding you. You have, divine guidance and divine timing on your side. And there's just that need to believe that it's almost like, yeah, like you have the tools. You have what's necessary to accomplish whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish. But you've lost a lot of excitement for it. You've lost a lot of your excitement for, like, I feel like this used to be something that you were really like, you enjoyed and you really were passionate about and you were excited about the possibility, but you've lost a lot of excitement about the possibility. Current energy for Aries. Because that Page of Swords in reverse, it's kind of the energy of like, like when you're a kid, you have so much excitement about like what's possible for you. You're like, this is possible and this is possible and maybe magic exists and whatever the case is. And then, as you grow and, live your life and have your experiences, a lot of that childlike excitement gets taken away because of, limiting beliefs that get placed on you and trauma that you encounter and experiences that limit, your beliefs. So those limiting beliefs that come from both other people and through your experiences. And it's almost like you lose sight of the fact that this universe really is magical and the universe really does have your back. It's just about, you're allowed to enjoy the process without worrying whether or not you're going to get there. Like, you have the tools. Everything's going to be okay. And I feel like that's ultimately what is missing here. Current energy for Aries. There's that Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. You have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You are just interesting. You're dealing with resistance, but not like resistance that's trying to pull you off course. It's resistance that needs to be overcome. You're not dealing with a road closure, you're dealing with a road block. And I feel like that's the biggest thing to understand. I want clarity on this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, though. Because the Ace of Pentacles, the opportunity you're looking for, you're wanting, it's already yours. Like, I don't feel like anything can really get in the way of it. It's just about, I mean, except for you, right? And oftentimes when we're facing, there's that Ten of Swords. Like, this is what you're experiencing. I'm going to get a little nosy here. I want more information on this Ten of Swords. Because this feels like, let me see, clarifying the Ten of Swords. So you're lacking a lot of hope about something you're investing in. Something that you're investing in or that you want to invest in. Some sort of opportunity that you're wanting to create. But you're dealing with past karma creating resistance. And when I talk about past karma, it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, you're getting what you deserve. That's never what I mean by karma. This Ten of Swords energy, this feels past. And that's what I was going to say. You've experienced this in the past. You've experienced failure. You've experienced betrayal, and almost feeling like betrayal from the universe. Like, you invested in something in the past that you really thought was going to work out and it didn't. And there's a need to realize that there was a lot of fear involved in past decision making that you've worked through since. And so the fear that stems from your past experiences, you don't have to fear anymore. You don't have to fear your fear. You don't have to fear past cycles repeating, because, I mean, if you've done the healing, which I feel like if this is your reading, you have. Or are still doing the healing, right? We never really fully heal. Can't heal to perfection. Healing's a lifelong journey, but as long as you're still, because there's the Ace of Wands, there's more holding tools. Like, I keep saying, like, I don't know, like, you have the tools. Like, you have you have what it takes to get there. And that, you need to just stop doubting that altogether and worry about, your other fears. Because I feel like your biggest insecurity is like, am I ever going to get there? Is it possible for me? And the answer is like, yeah, not only is it possible, but it's already yours. You just have to go for it. You just have to go grab it. Some sort of leap of faith. This has to do with some sort of leap of faith here. Yeah, leap of faith, because there's that seven of coins again. So it's investing in something that kind of feels like a risk. And you're kind of, there's a decision that needs to be made. But I feel like you'll make this decision whenever your fear kind of settles down, because you're dealing with a lot of fear right now. A lot of fear. And I feel like it's ultimately the fear of like, well, when is this going to come to fruition? Or when is this going to happen? That's the gap, right? You're focused on the gap, how you're here and you want to be here. Well, when am I going to be here? Well, honestly, just know that you're going to be there when you need to be there. And everything's going to be taken care of between now and then. It just might feel stressful, but it doesn't mean that it's going to impact you. Okay, these one. The Judgment in reverse and the Lovers in reverse. I mean, it comes down to you realizing that you're deserving and that your fear stems from you not feeling deserving in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that's because of past experiences that made you feel undeserving. And that's where your fear is arising from. Current energy for Aries. Because there's the Four of Pentacles. You could be too focused on the material aspect of this. Like if you're pursuing a business, you could be fearing the money side. And I feel like there's a need to realize that like you are going to be taken care of. If you are pursuing a path that aligns with your highest good, which if this is your reading, you are going to be taken care of. And that's where this like mask or removal of armor is coming from for me. Like you don't have to feel like you have to like oh, is this gonna happen? Like what's like, I see like you're walking through like which you feel is a war zone, but it's actually not. And you like have this armor on, and the universe is like, what are you protecting yourself from? Like you're good, you're fine. You don't need to worry. Like nothing's coming at you. Nothing's gonna hurt you. You just have to realize that you have the tools, because where your focus goes, your reality follows. So the universe is like, hey, we're just handling some fear. You're just handling some fear right now. Like it's not that anything is actually physically going to hurt you. Now, if you've experienced that in the past, then of course you fear that, right? Immediate future for Aries. So that's why you have let your fears dissolve. And your fears, they stem from that past Ten of Swords that you've experienced. Immediate future for Aries. Now there's a difference between protecting yourself and defending yourself, right? Maybe you need to protect yourself, but you don't need to. No, I feel like there's no need to protect yourself. Like it's almost just like believe that if there is someone else who harmed you, like everyone in the situation is going to get their karma. Yours good, theirs bad, right? And it's almost like you're fearing past karma that you've experienced repeating itself. But that's not really how things work. But I also understand that that's not really how the brain works either. You're not just able to go, oh, well, all right, let me just not worry about that. Because that's not realistic. But that's what the healing journey is all about, right? Retraining ourselves to think more in alignment with where we're going as opposed to where we've been. All right, immediate future for Aries. Your immediate future is a lot of contemplation on how you've kind of been investing more in your comfort zone as opposed to in faith. Meaning, oftentimes if we don't receive what we deserve, that's the universe saying, hey, get out of this situation, right? Get out of this. And you might feel trapped or something like that, and it's how you're having a hard time, and that's where the solutions will come. Like you have the tools to find the solution to whatever the situation is. But I feel like that's your immediate future because you have go for it. Like it's almost like you've got to get to a point, like it's like a do it scared. Like do it. You're never going to be fully ready, right? And I feel like that's what this is saying. Like you have the tools and you're never going to get to a point where you're like, now I am no longer afraid. Like no, that's never going to happen. Like if there's a leap of faith involved, it's called a leap of faith for a reason, right? It's not called a leap of certainty. Immediate future for Aries. But it's like you don't have to protect yourself. Like you're good. Like your path is taken care of. Like everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. Immediate future for Aries, please. There's the High Priestess, because there it is. The High Priestess, Queen of Wands, and then the Magician right under that. So your intuition is telling you, hey, this is going to be fine. This is going to work out. You're going to get what you're, ultimately deserving of here. You're going to manifest what you need, what you want, what you need. You just have to have a little bit more faith. And of course, I know that's not easy, but that's the whole thing, right? We go through fear to transmute that fear to faith. That's the whole thing. That's the whole journey. It's the whole journey is creating faith out of fear, because fear is our biggest enemy, and fear just stems from us, right? And it's like the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. If you believe your fear, then of course you have to fear it. But if you don't believe your fear, then you realize, oh, well, actually I don't really have anything to be afraid of because the universe has my back. So your immediate future is making sure that you listen to your intuition over your fear. And that's so difficult to do. But the best way to do that is to stay in tune. Stay in tune with the universe, stay in tune with the divine, stay in tune with yourself. And I feel like you'll start seeing that the answers are going to flow. It's a lot of holding. Like I'm just seeing a lot of like holding things, like holding a sword, holding a pinnacle, holding two swords, holding a pinnacle, holding a light, holding a book. Like it's just like you have everything you need. You have the knowledge, you have the power, you have the material resources. Even if it doesn't feel like it, like even if you don't know that you do have it, like you do. Like the universe is telling you in this reading, you have what you need. And then there's the artist. And then you use what you need. There's one of two additional major arcanas in this deck. You use what you need to create what you want. You use what you have, and you have what you need, but you use what you have to create what you want. So what you want, it's going to, and you do that by like really truly believing in yourself and your path, right? And sometimes you just need a little bit of a confirmation from the universe. And I feel like that's ultimately what this is. This feels like very much like confirmation, because this is very like, I don't know, it just feels like very optimistic energy. The universe really is saying like, hey, like it might not feel optimistic. Like I'm not saying you're an optimistic energy, but the universe is messing, like what's coming through is like, you're good. You've got what you need. You have what you need, and just use what you have. Use your tools. Both, the tools you've picked up, because that's what I feel like a lot of these wands and these swords are. The tools that you have is like, you have the mental strength, you have the emotional strength, like you have everything you need. Like not just materially, not just like your gifts and your, and your resources. Like you have the ability to do it mentally, you have the ability to do it emotionally. Like I just feel like the more steps you take forward, the more you're going to start to realize that everything just kind of unfolds for you. All right, Aries, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages, pull some advice. I got an actual advice card to pull at the end. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journeys. Bye, Aries.